welcome to the Spiritist Society of Melbourne. My name is Thiago Comitre and I'm a volunteer with this group. Tonight I'm going to share my understanding to the topic Prejudice. I'm a student of this philosophy, and what I'll be exposing here is my understanding to the topic under the lens of Spiritism. It might differ from other members of this group, as well as other students of this philosophy, since it's aligned with my current knowledge on the subject. So let's start with some definitions. What is prejudice? Preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience, or harm or injury that results or may result from some action or judgment. I got these definitions from Oxford Language, the internet, and I assume this definition here for a better understanding to the word I will be presenting tonight. So, preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. For example, prejudice against people from different backgrounds, different race, so on. My presentation tonight will be based on this book, Changing Attitudes, written by Francisco de Espírito Santo Neto, dictated by the Spirit Hamed. As the title says, by changing our attitudes, it proposes to perceive life from a different perspective. It's also based on the Spirit's book, which contains the principles of Spiritism, according to the teachings of spirits of high degree, transmitted through several mediums around the world, then received, coordinated, and codified by Allan Kardec. Also, the Gospel according to Spiritism, which contains the explanation of the moral maxims of Christ in concordance with Spiritism and their applications to the different circumstances of life. Spiritism, the spiritualist philosophy, says that we are individuals with the main objective of progressing spiritually towards perfection, and at the same time being co-creators. So, if we just explore a little bit this statement here, it's talking about individuality. This philosophy says that we are spirits or souls that was created simple and ignorant. And our main objective is to reach perfection. But if we're living at the moment this existence, this physical and corporeal existence, how can we reach perfection? The answer is that we cannot understand that if we don't understand reincarnation, which is a subject that wasn't created by this philosophy, but it's well explained by this philosophy, and at least for me, it helps me to open my mind to understand and see a big picture of this journey of evolution. So throughout many existences, we are able to reach perfection as a spirit or our soul, because we understand that the life continues after death, and death is just a comma in our story. So, at the same time, being co-creators, how can we be a co-creator of everything? If you just see around us and we perceive nature and everything that exists, we understand that we are part of everything. We will understand that just by existing, we are already co-creator of the whole thing. And by transforming ourselves, making ourselves a better person, and helping others, our neighbors, our family, our friends, contributing with them the revolution as well. We are playing that role. With these concepts in mind, we can continue. Hamed says in his book, prejudices are the roots of our unhappiness and neurotic suffering because they deteriorate our view of life, like a splinter that ignites the area of our body in which it lodges. If you think of the previous slide I just shown you and commented, this philosophy shows us and explains us what we really are and where we come from, where we are heading to, and what's the meaning of our existence. It helps us to see life from a different perspective. And from that point, we understand that we have responsibility. And our main objective is to reach perfection. But to reach perfection, we need to evolve. And we evolve improving ourselves. But first of all, we need to know who we are, where we need to improve. So going inside ourselves, looking at the mirror and understand who we are, and identifying those points that we need to work on. So I'm very selfish. I'm very proud for some things. Why? Is that good for me? How can I be more humble? Those are points that I can work on, for example, to improve myself and to be more spiritual than material. So I'm not perfect at all, and this philosophy helps me to understand and to look inside and to discover all these imperfections that exist in myself and how much I still need to improve. This is one of the most valuable things of results of this philosophy that helps us to understand, look inside, to know who we are, what's the objective we have, our meaning, and then work on that to be better, to be a better person, to be a better son, to be a better daughter, better dad or mother, brother, sister, even colleague, friends. We can improve a lot, and we have a lot to improve in ourselves, for sure. That's a way for us to understand and start this transformation, this inner transformation. Then, if you have all this work to do, how can we judge other people if the only accepted way is the self-judgment? So I'm like this, why I'm doing this, and we start doing this against ourselves to improve, not against others, because again, we don't know ourselves how we can judge others. We don't know anyone else in the essence. You know what I mean? So prejudice, as it says here, are the roots of our unhappiness and neurotic suffering. Because when we reach perfection, we will understand how to love, respect everyone and everything. Then we'll be happy, really happy. Not the momentary happiness that we feel in this life, during this life, but the real happiness. Prejudices just destroy this view of life. So spiritism tries to or help us to have to perceive life from a different perspective, and those preconceptions or prejudice goes on against of that. That's the view that unfortunately in the past was very common. And I can say that nowadays we still see these things. So that's how people see a black man saying a universe totally black, and what is different is the other person because it's white, and the same to the opposite to this white man here. So their vision is different. They are so selfish in this view, but should see the whole thing as a human being, not as a black or white man. That's what this propose. But people raise some flags like uh, some lives matter. But if you extend this thought, you see that some animals very stressed and some zoos, it's quite nice actually when you think that you can go with your kids to see those animals. But in this world, in some places, unfortunately, those animals are very stressed and are suffering in their spaces there. So all lives matters. Having prejudices is therefore assimilating things with a pre-established judgment based on the opinions of others. So adults, mostly parents, have a big responsibility of watching over their thoughts and actions because kids learning everything so quick. So imagine uh, a house where the parents are racist or male chauvinist, and that environment of these with these thoughts and kids that grows up there. Imagine the moral knowledge that those kids are building in themselves. What is right? What is wrong? Imagine a white kid or family if the parent of that home is racist against black people and they just say things and act with in a very wrong way, and those kids will grow and will learn all those things. So that's not good. And the responsibilities of those adults because they are directly teaching those kids. So when they are adults, they already have many preset concepts that may be very discriminatory, and that continues. You know what I mean? According to Hamad, we accept these values from the adults around us in such a subtle way that we don't even notice it. When kids hear comments about someone else's sexuality or their neighbor's religion, they assimilate the ideas and rules experienced by the adults who criticize others. In a distorted way, they develop their ideas according to others' judgment instead of the real self judgment, which is based on the analysis of facts as they really are. So, what is your opinion about sex, religion, race, age, nation, politics, and so many other things? Is it free from other people's interact influence? Are you sure your way to see everyone and everything is not full of obstacles built by preset concepts? And again, what about our evolution process that I just said in the beginning? If you understand that we should be improving and helping our spirit, let's say, to be better when it lives this life. Should be better than when we arrived. So what is the legacy and what are we teaching to our kids and to any kid that see our actions uh, anywhere? So we as adults have a big responsibility. I have a kid. She's 2.5 years old now. And my thought on that is always show her the ways for her to think by herself. Of course, I explain and guide her on the what I judge as what I consider as the right path, but I'll leave the choice for her because she has this free will, right? It's her right. I cannot interfere on that, but I can just give her the opportunity to choose, to make a choice. And the most important things that I will try to teach her is that in reality, we are very similar to each other. There is no race, no nationality, no politics, ideas, nothing. We are all the same boat, moving towards the same place, trying to reach perfection. Each one in different degrees of evolution, of course, but everyone trying to do their best. So your parents did what was the best for them. That was what they could do that time. And the same you will do with your kids, which will be totally different, and you think doing differently from what you received as education. And your kids will do different than you are doing now. That's natural. And that's how also humanity evolves. It's all part of the same process. Hamed continues. Evolved souls have a set of values that is not based in severe rules. They evaluate people and actions using their inner sense, feelings, emotions, and intuition, having a specific view of human behavior. For them, every situation is unique and every person is a different world. So, what's the teaching we can extract from here? Evolved souls, I'm not there yet, but I want to be an evolved soul. So, and we can see how they act here, right? Using their inner sense, feelings, emotions, intuition. So, how I am doing that work, I said before. So, how I'm getting contact with my own feelings and my own emotions to understand myself when I see someone doing something wrong or what I assume that is wrong because of my moral knowledge already built in myself. How I feel about that, why I feel that, what emotions comes up, and think, should I say something, or when I listen something, should I say something back? What would be the result of that? If I have not so good relationship with certain person, why would that be the same with his or her brother, for example, or someone who is very close to that person? I should not assume anything similar because they are totally different people, right? For example, we can see twins, twin brothers, that is totally different to each other. The way they think, the way they handle things and situations. Sometimes it's very easy for one, and the same thing is very hard for the other. Same with us, right? So because we are in different stage of evolution, we have had many experience before. for sure, man existence, corporeal existence like this one we are living now. And each of us had went through different experiences, and what may be very hard for me to deal with may be very easy for you. So why are you so concerned about that? You can think in different way, but maybe for me it's very hard. It's first time that I'm going through that trial, and what I want is to overcome that, to understand, to get all the benefits that overcoming that the result would provide me. So assuming that each person is a different world, and we should respect that person and respect the time of that person, the time of that spirit in the evolution stage, that will help us actually to listen, to accept others, and even to get to know that person. When I mean that person, I mean in the essence, how that person thinks, how they feel things. If I say something, how that person would react, and why. Why should I do in that way? So that avoidance of acting with prejudice, self-awareness. Before we even think of someone else, we need to remember that we are in the same boat as everyone, trying to do our best, get in touch with our feelings and emotions to know who we really are, and then start the inner transformation. That's what we should do. So Hamed finishes with these statements here. Past experiences are valid, but they need to be suited to the needs we have in the present. It was saying about some experience from the past are valid because, as I said, the example of our parents, of our education, that was valid because the way our parents have done with us was the best they could do. And we are already changing that or updating that for the present, doing it differently with our kids, right? Prejudice is the main hindrance or impediment to spiritual progress. So, where is the love? If you still have prejudices in yourself, and we understand through reincarnation that we are at the moment in some conditions, for example, about sex, religion, race, nationality, politics, and many other things. And in the next incarnation or future incarnations will be totally different from the current existence. So if I'm white in this existence, a next one I could be black person, or if I'm rich, I could be poor. So if I'm from the Occident, I could come in the Orient next life to experience different scenarios, different situations, and see how I deal with all those scenarios, situations. That's my trials. And that will help my spirit to evolve. And that happens to everyone. That's what we understand when we start reincarnation. And we extend our thinking to accept others as they are and to respect others, not using prejudice against them, but respecting them because we could be as them are now. So Let's keep this in mind. That's what I would like to share with you all, and thank you for watching.